In this tech snip, we're going to go over how to invoke external processes with PowerShell. Let's get started. The simplest way to invoke a process is to simply run the command directly. In this example, we'll invoke the hostname command. You can also invoke a command by using the ampersand or call operator. The command's file extension is optional. One caveat with using the call operator is invoking commands with a space in the path. You can see in this example that we've enclosed the command in quotes, and when we execute this, PowerShell interprets this as a normal string, as it has no way of knowing that we're intending to run a command. To get around this problem with spaces in the executable name or path, the call operator must be used. But when attempting to run executables with parameters, you'll receive an error when enclosing the entire command and its parameters in a string. PowerShell will interpret this entire string as a single executable to be run and won't find it. To work around this, only the executable or the full path to the executable can be enclosed in a string. Any parameters that are passed must be outside the string. When PowerShell invokes an executable, the executable's exit code is captured in the automatic variable last exit code. You can inspect this variable to determine if the executable ran correctly. If the value is 0, you can assume the executable was a success. Any other value is a sign the executable had a problem. An alternative to using the ampersand or call operator is the start process commandlet. This commandlet gives us a few more options to control the display and output of the executable. Note that start process does not use the last exit code variable. To retrieve the exit code, you must inspect the exit code property of the process object the start process returns. You can see in this example that the exit code property of the process object returned is 1, so we can infer that the executable failed in some way. If you need to capture the standard out of an executable, you can simply assign that output directly to a variable. But you can see in this example, when using the call operator, that if the executable failed, we won't receive a PowerShell error object and the text won't be read as is typical for an error or an exception in PowerShell. You can also see that the error automatic variable is not populated. We're going to use start process for this next example again. Here you can see that we specify the file path of the executable and an argument array that will be passed in. We're also redirecting the standard out and standard err streams to files. After we run this, we can retrieve the content of the ping.out and ping.err files and also inspect the exit code. Unfortunately, you can't redirect the standard out and standard error streams to variables with the start process commandlet, but we have another way via the system diagnostics process class. In this method, we create a process object and pass in the file path and any arguments to the start info property. We're also going to redirect the standard out and standard error streams. After we execute this, we'll populate the output and errors variables with the stream information from the process. We need to also call the waitForExit method to ensure the process is finished. Now if we inspect the output and errors variables, you can see that the command output was captured. We can also choose to throw an error if the exit code was a non-zero value and we captured errors in the error stream. We can also take a look at the exit code as well. You can see that PowerShell has a number of ways to invoke executables depending on your needs, and you can be sure that one of them will work for your scenario.